Recording in progress.
Barak Yahweh Allah. Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk. What is your golden bite? In this uh, video is inspired by the last video I made speaking on coming out of her. I had a uh, conversation with my cousin and during the midst of talking about coming out of her and the things we hold on to, uh, I told him this story and I was inspired to tell it to y'all because this is a true story that happened to me while I was growing up as a kid. And before I get into anything, I want to tell y'all the story so it can all make sense, if you will. When I was like 10, 11, I'm pretty sure I was like 10, I'm thinking about 10, bicycles was the thing. I don't know what kids are doing now, but in my neighborhood, there was a lot of stealing bicycles, a lot of spray painting bicycles, and you got with your crew, your homeboys, your friends, and you rode bicycles through your neighborhood and other places, you know, uh, probably places we shouldn't have been. But it was good time. We was fun. We had fun. And, if you didn't have a bicycle, you couldn't go. Or either, excuse me, or either you had to uh, hop on the back of somebody else's bicycle. If they had little pads, you'll jump on the pads. If they didn't, both of y'all will have to share the sheets. And usually, if you going a long ways, depending on what type of bicycle you had, that was very difficult, especially with a beach cruiser. You did not want to be pulling somebody on a beach cruiser because, a beach cruiser, you had to use all your manpower on that. And this is a Golden Beach cruiser before me, but the bike I had was a little smaller bike. It was like a trick bike. And actually, there was a little wooded area where I stayed at the time. And I didn't steal this bike. Uh, I went into the woods and I found this bike. I seen something sticking up out the ground, and I actually dug this bike up. It's almost remind me of like the movie Jumanji or something. When they find something, they gotta dig it up. But it was just something that drew me to this bike, and I knew I was digging up something special. And when I dug up this bike, it was dirty, but when I washed it off, it was a golden small bicycle. I couldn't tell if it was spray painted gold or was the original color gold, but it was gold. And you can tell that it was a unique type of gold. It almost looked like a real type of gold. And of course, I worked on this bicycle to try to get it right. I put tires on it, but this bicycle was just, in other words, raggedy. I mean, the seat was working perfect. The handlebars working perfect. The tires was working perfect, but I was having problems with the pedal to pedal the bicycle. The pedal was bit bent, and I did everything to try to bend that pedal out. And it was bit bent so much that it was knocking against the frame to it knock a hole in the frame. So it had a hole in the frame, but it still was knocking. And not only that, but the bike tire, the way this bicycle was made or whatever was wrong with it, the tire could never tighten up in the bike. So the tire will always get loose. And of course, if your bike tire get loose, the chain pop off. So I could not ride this bicycle more than 2 minutes without the bicycle popping off. And I had to keep a wrench in my pocket to keep tighten up, to keep sliding the tire back and tighten up the tire. Cause as soon as I go riding, the tire gonna loose right back up and the chain gonna pop right back off. On top of the knocking sound of the pedals knocking against the frame. And this bicycle gave me hell, boy. I used to hate riding this bicycle, but I roll it because I love the compliments. Everywhere I went, people asked me, where did you get that bicycle from? That's a nice bicycle. I mean, from older cats, I'm talking about in the 50s and 60s, as you see in your neighborhood, they'll be like, oh, young man, you got a nice looking bicycle. For the dope boys on the corner, be like, hey, let me buy that bicycle from you. And I'd be like, nope. To even the younger dudes my age to want it, they try to steal it. That bicycle got stolen at least, well, almost got stolen at least 2 or 3 times. And every time I caught them and they ran off. So I knew I couldn't just leave this bicycle sitting anywhere because it was something about this bicycle that caught everybody's eye. And everybody wanted this bicycle. If they didn't want to buy it from me, they was trying to steal it from me. And everybody was giving me compliments, but they had no idea what I was dealing with this bicycle. This bicycle was so annoying to me. I couldn't really go nowhere because the chains kept popping off. I couldn't go fast on it. I couldn't pop wheelies on it. And when I go somewhere with my friends, they had regular 10-speed bicycle, when they can change the gears, and they had taller bicycles, and I go somewhere with them and I will always be way behind because I always have to stop and tighten the bike tire up and put the chains back on, and I just be clicking, click, 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 trying to catch up with them. But like I said, every 2 minutes he'll come right back off and I have to stop again. Now I had a friend that uh used to I used to ride with, we used to ride bicycles, and he used to wait till we get around people and girls and he'll be like, let's trade. And I knew what he was doing. He wanted to be seen on the golden nice bicycle. He wanted people to think that was his bicycle. But guess what? I didn't mind because I just wanted to get away from that bicycle. I enjoyed when he said, hey, let's trade bicycles for a minute. And of course, he jumped on it because some girls was around us and we were around some people that he wanted to press. And I was happy to let him jump on it because his bicycle, you would change the gears. It was easy, you know what I'm saying? Just a nice regular bicycle, didn't have no trouble. And so every time he asks and be like, hey, you want to trade? Man, I went for it. I was like, sure. I couldn't wait. Sometimes I ask him, hey, you want to trade? And he'll be like, yeah, yeah, let me get on your bicycle. And everybody, when he on my bicycle, they be like, hey, giving him the compliments. That's a nice bicycle. You need to keep that bicycle. That something special about that bicycle. And I didn't get it. I didn't know why everybody was drawn to that bicycle. Even myself, at first, I was drawn to it because, you know, it was all golden, and it's just a unique bike. But after I went through all the trouble with it, man, I was really tired of and annoyed with it. But because of the compliments that I was getting, because I love being seen with it, because I know it looked it cool, I didn't give it up. And make a long story short, I don't know what happened to the bicycle. What, I think I finally gave it up, or something happened where I didn't have it no more. I think somebody else got it or whatever, but you talking about I was relieved. I was like, man, look, it's somebody else's trouble now. Now I ain't got to deal with this headache bicycle. Now somebody else can deal with it. I'm like, man, I hope they fix it up and it work right for them. But I never seen that bicycle again. And whoever got that bicycle, I'm pretty sure when they finally got it, they're like, yes, I finally got this gold bicycle that I wanted. I'm pretty sure it gave them hell just as much as it gave me hell. And they probably buried the thing. Just like I found it. Now I realize why it was buried. But just the idea of me holding on to this thing and actually going through headache and pains and being annoyed and stressed out by this bicycle when I could have sold it to the dope boy, when I could have gave it away because many people wanted it. But I just held on to it because of the status, because it looked it cool, because everybody gave me compliments. And, you know, when you older, you look back and you see things in your life and you can see the lesson in it. While I was going through that, I didn't understand and see the lesson in it. But hindsight, looking back, I can see the lesson. And how many of us got something in our lives that make us look cool, or give us some type of status, or everybody give us compliment on. But what they don't know, behind closed doors, this thing is making us miserable. The bills are too high on it, or it's stressing you out. It can be a woman. Everybody like, oh, you got the baddest woman out of all of them. And y'all out and you love for this woman to be on your shoulders. But behind closed doors, she's stressing you out, talking to you all type of ways, and mistreating you. And ain't even giving you no loving. But people like, oh, I wish I was in your shoes, all because they see her beauty. It can be a car, a nice car that you really can't afford, that's stressing you out. But because people giving you compliments on it, and it's a status statement and it look cool, you you are willing to struggle with the payments just to keep this nice car because you're afraid people gonna say, oh, I knew she couldn't pay for that nice car. Well, I knew he wasn't gonna keep it long. It can be a house, a woman, a car, some shoes, some clothes, some jewelry, your own vain thoughts of yourself and certain things in life. What is your golden bicycle that many people admire in your life and give you compliments, but it's not worth the compliments? It's not worth just standing beside it and looking good, because it's worth more than the trouble. And nobody know how much trouble this thing is calling you, how much you stressed out about it, how much this object is paining you. The only thing they see is the glamour in it and the glory in it, and they actually coveting out of it, and wanting what you want, and thinking you got something good, but really you got something trash. It's like having a regular car that's painted. They got a real nice paint job on it and some nice rims, but the engine shot and you can't really go nowhere, drive it. What is your golden bicycle that you holding on to just because of the glory that come with it, the compliments that come with it? But it'll be better for you to let go. And a lot of times we be afraid, well, if I let it go and other people, they don't know the struggle, but they gonna be like, oh, how would you let that go? And they gonna see other people with this glory and this. Man, let me tell you something. When I finally let that golden bicycle go, I was happy. I didn't care what people thought. And I think I got something like, I got uh, I remember for Christmas, it was my auntie or somebody, they got together and brought me a bicycle. And it was one of those expensive bicycles that you see at Walmart. They'd be locked up, cost about $200 something. Uh, Tall, big bicycle. You know what I'm saying? Had gears on it. Man, I cherish that bicycle more than the golden bicycle because it gave me no trouble. And I could ride anywhere I wanted. It had little shots on it. You know what I'm saying? And plus the bicycle that I had, many people around the neighborhood had the same type of bicycle. So some people will choose the golden bicycle that gave them so much trouble over just the regular bicycle that everybody else had that run perfectly. Just because they want something unique, just because they want to be praised, even though it's gonna cause them all type of trouble in hell. But nevertheless, when I finally gave that bicycle up, I didn't care what people think. I was glad I let it go and got another bicycle. And I didn't care that people didn't give me compliments on my other bicycle. Matter of fact, I realized how much better it was that I wasn't getting compliments. It almost got to a point where I was tired of people saying, oh man, I like that bicycle. That's a nice bicycle. Because I'm like, oh yeah, you really think it's nice? This bicycle giving me hell. I can't go nowhere I can't even, I definitely couldn't go a hill. Trying to go a hill, I couldn't. The chain would just pop. I had to push it uphill. But anywhere else, I can only go for like 2 minutes and the chain would pop off. And I definitely couldn't go fast. As soon as I try to pedal fast, the chains would pop off. So to even try to keep it on for those 2 minutes, I had to slow powder it. Then I had to keep a wrench in my pocket to tighten the tire back up. And then, like I said before, everywhere I went, it was knocking, just a knocking noise. And every time you pedal, you had to feel that knocking noise. Not feel the noise, but uh, feel the knocking against the rail. It was just aggravating. But once again, because everybody wanted it, because of the glory I got with it, because of the praise I got with it, because everybody was like, woo, you got something good. I held on to it. So in this world, when we trying to come out of her and come out of her completely, I believe we all got our secretly golden bicycle. And only you know what that golden bicycle is. Where it's causing you so much pain and trouble, but only because of the status and the praise you get because of this object, you continue to deal with the heartache and pain. How is that free? How is that kingdom minded? How is that uh having the kingdom in us. In the kingdom, we're supposed to be at peace and have joy and not be materialistic and let things get to us. And we're supposed to desire praise from the Most High more than man. And over any and everything, we're supposed to desire peace in our life. And if something taken away from that peace, why would you continue to hold on to it just because you get praise from man? But there's certain things in this life that are strongholds that we continue to hold on to. And we don't even consider that we have not come out of her and let these things go. And we done made treasures up on this earth. Wherever your treasure is where your heart is. You know, even the parable when Christ told about the sower that plants seed. One of the sowers, it says that it was the cares of this world that choked the word out of her. Not, not out of her, but choked the word out of the one that received the word. He didn't only say the cares of the world, but he said the deceitfulness of riches in the cares of this world. He didn't say riches, he said the deceitfulness of riches. Because how many of us know riches are deceitful? Everybody think when they get rich, everything gonna be all right. Like it ain't gonna amplify. Like if you wasn't an alcoholic, when you get money, you just gonna be able to buy more alcohol. If you was a weed head, when you got money, you buy more weed. If you thought you was all that then, you get more money, you gonna for sure think you all that. Or you didn't know how to treat people back then, now you really ain't gonna know how to treat people. Or it might be vice versa. Now you got so much chip on your shoulder. Now that you finally got something, you treating people ways that you didn't treat them when you didn't have it. So a lot of times money amplify the evil and make us worse instead of better. And we make a lot of so-called sacrifices for this money. Our family, our career, all these things where we don't have time to enjoy our life. But that's a whole nother topic. Nevertheless, people just don't get it. I hear so many people talking about buying a house and uh, buying a business. And that's cool if the most I put it on your heart to do that and you able to do it. But I believe a lot of people are doing it for the wrong reason. They not content. I think it was Paul that worked that no matter if I'm hungry or full, I'm content. Whatever state that I'm in, I learn to be content. Just as long as I got everything I need, I'm content. And the Proverbs that talk about, I don't need to be super rich and I don't want to be poor. Heavenly Father, just make me have enough where I can be comfortable, uh, support myself, and be able to support others that are in need. Just give me enough. I just want enough where I have enough where I can be able to be a blessing to others. I don't need to be super rich. Everybody want to be super rich. You ain't got to be super rich to help others. Just don't make me super rich and don't make me poor. Just give me enough. But with that enough, if the Father, a lot of times the Father had already gave us enough. But then we have these golden bicycles in our life. We live above our status. And we have strongholds and we still attached to this world. There's a lot of y'all that if it was, if the Most High come right now and knock on the door and say, run, don't look back, a lot of us would be like Lot's wife and turn around and look back because we got so much invested in this place. We thinking about, oh, my house that I love so much, my car that I love so much, this business that I was starting, it was just taking off doing good. Oh, these cookies I like, this store I like, this and that. So once again, make sure that we coming out of her. What are the things in our life that we need to let go? Examine ourselves and say, what is unnecessary that's taking up time that I can be doing something better, like educating myself or studying or whatever it may be, or exercising or eating better, anything to benefit, to become stronger spiritually, mentally, and physically, to prepare for the times up ahead. And it's always going to start with that golden bicycle. So once again, family, whatever that golden bicycle that's in your life, forget about the praise of man. Forget about the glory and glamour and status that come with it. Think about the joy and freedom that the Father gave all of us the opportunity to have. If we just obey and follow his ways, be a doer of his word and not just a hearer. But as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Until next time, Shalom.